So once again, don't get me wrong, but because of a reputation, because of people hearing your name. So once again, like I say, how the heck can I kill two people on June 17, 1987, when I was incarcerated?
Well, okay, so you didn't pull the trigger. So were you mm, did you know who
I
pulled
don't.
the trigger?
I didn't know that. I didn't even know these individuals. That's what
But
even
you just
what.
you were coming out of the club. You didn't know. Was it a
No,
club
no,
like
no, no. Like I told you, when coming out of the club was in October '87. Okay, come out of the club was a later date. Like that was in the wintertime.
oh, okay. It wasn't the
So
same.
this
Okay,
was like in June. I'm incarcerated. So
okay.
once again, when they accused me of killing two people, I didn't even know who they was. I didn't know nothing about it. But it was the
No,
system.
I'm talking about Trini. Within an hour, he was dead of the shoulder check. So,
Yeah.
did you know the people who killed him?
As time went on, yes. As time went on, when even right now, like I said, I didn't know who he was. Only thing was distinguished. He was a light skinned, pretty guy with a good hair and a patch on his eye. So wait a minute, that's totally different. So to me, right now is like I say, I remember that night. I remember what happened, and I left. And
Mhm.
even right now, as the world traveled through the street, wait a minute, hold up. And what I'm just trying to say right now, like, damn, it is kind of like, how can I say? It kind of felt like I'm trying to use the right word. It kind of felt like crazy because once again, it made me felt like he knew he was something was going to happen, and basically, when we had that encounter, that narrow staircase, it could have went either way. Because once again, I don't know. I didn't know who he was. I didn't know anything about him. Only thing I just knew, you just shoulder checked me or whatever.
Mhm,
So to
mhm.
me, when I heard about it and I heard about what happened and why it happened, like I say, I didn't meet you, and I don't have to lie to you because if I
Mhm.
had something to do with it, I had to plead guilty to it. Because
Right.
once again, that would have been something hanging over me, knowing I could resolve it. Right? It's knowing you got a flat tire, and
Mhm.
you got to get that flat tire fixed. If you don't get that flat tire fixed, guess what? You're going to damage the tire, the rims, and everything else. So once again, to me, I got something over me, and I knew I had to get. I didn't have nothing to do with that. And even right now, they knew I didn't have nothing to do with that
Mhm.
because other people that came clean and gave up their information, what happened, why it happened, I didn't have nothing to do with that.
Mhm. Mhm. Well, it's just interesting that you were able to self-regulate in that situation, but in other situations, people weren't as fortunate. Although he was met with an untimely death, and it left me to, as a teenage mom, to raise my son for a significant time portion of my life as a single mom and a teen mom. Um, and I just I've always thought about like that, the trauma that caused me and caused my son. And it also made me somewhat very skeptical of people and the trust for people, like that, and like you got to be very wary of your friends, and maybe not, you're more wary of your friends than your enemies because you don't have your enemies around you that way. And I remember for like at least 10 years that I would have like these nightmares. And Freud speaks about like dreams in a psychoanalytic theory, and he talks about like how dreams can feel like a reality to people and people come to you. And I feel like there was times that I didn't really even, I don't know, really, I would say like accept that he was dead. You know what I mean? I looked at it like maybe like he was incarcerated. That's a young mind, right? Still developing, still trying to figure life out. And I just used to say, like, why did you leave me? Why did you do this? Why did you do that? Why did you leave us? I don't know what to do. Thank God, I have my parents. But yeah, I sat with that for all these years, and I've used it as a positive to help me, move forward in life and to become who I am today. But I can tell you, like, when I hear of all these murders that are going on, all of the violence that are going on, the fact that young people are unable to self-regulate, unable to resolve conflict, unable to resolute without violence and guns, I'm just like, I'm really saddened because I know what it takes for, I know what it feels like for a young person to have to go through that. And no one back in those days, you know, Glaze, like for the neighborhoods we came from, nobody was there to protect us. Like we were like, no one cared. No government, no social workers, no counselors. Like we had to fend for ourselves. And we did that the best way we could, you know, and what we had available to us at the time. And I look at like all the things that are offered to young people today, like, you know, all of those, the mass shootings that are going on. Back in the days, they used to be called like park shootings, right? Those were mass shootings, right? No one talks about that, but we experienced that, right? You're at a party or at a park or something, and then shots rang out, right? And thank you, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And we had to like run. We just having fun, just, you know, being young, and these things happen. And so I don't wish this on anyone. And I feel like one thing that is manifesting itself from this today is that I have forgiveness in my heart. My child has forgiveness in his heart, but I don't want people to think that when people die or are murdered or incarcerated, that the pain goes away. It doesn't go away. And maybe, yeah, it doesn't go away.
You know what? First of all, like I said right now, my deepest condolences. And a lot of times people do not understand as far as like you say right now, I done did a lot of stuff from A to Z in my life that I am ashamed of. I'm sorry, between the age of 14 and 24, I became that person. I became that people pleaser because it wasn't me. I'm trying to please other people. I want to look good in other people's eyesight. I want people to love me. I want people to respect me. And even right now, it took, I'm saying, the death of my mother when I was incarcerated. It took her death to help me to understand the pain and suffering that I directly and indirectly inflicted upon people. And what I'm saying is, I'm in the hole, locked down, when I got that news that she was gone. And even with that being said, it's like right now, like a lot of times you can't relate to anything. Like even with your pain, I can identify with your pain because a loss is a loss. And a lot of times people like to use the terminology, it get better with time. Time heal all wounds. And people, let me tell you one thing. Time do not heal all wounds. Time just make the wounds a little bit more bearable to deal with. And what I'm saying right now is this. When my mother died and I had to go down and get sentenced, and right now is I can remember when I got sentenced and I'm in front of Judge Edward Corman in the Eastern District of New York Court. And basically he asked me, what do you got to say before I sentence you? And I told him, I can't blame Fat Cat. I can't blame Pappy. I can't blame anybody for what I did. Everything I did it because that's what I want to do. But it took the death of my mother to help me to understand the pain and suffering that I inflicted upon the victim and their family. And with that type of pain, you wouldn't wish upon your worst enemy. And to me, it was a reality check. But I was so deep into it that you numb to that. You numb to other people feeling because they're not you until it hit home. Once it hit home and it hurts so bad that right now is it's like, wait a minute, man. I don't want to do this no more. I don't want no part of this anymore. Who am I to say who lived and who died? I'm not God.